I'm Mark Roper in downtown LA with the latest on the murder of a Good Samaritan. I'll have the story after this. Police say the suspect jumped out of the van just as the girl walked by, yanked her inside, and then sped off. I'm Mark Roper in downtown LA for the premiere of The Gray. Hear what the stars have to say after this. This is the third windstorm of the month. Forecasters say it could be the worst. I'm Mark Roper in East LA, where President Obama gets an early endorsement.
Reporter Mark Roper joins us from the crime scene with the story. Mark?
Jay, we're here in North Hollywood where detectives are searching for 3 murder suspects. The victim, who lived in this house behind me, was a Good Samaritan helping his grandfather. Mark Gonzalez leads his family in a solemn tribute to his cousin, Danilo Morales. This is where Morales was shot to death by 3 men who had just robbed his grandfather. Gonzalez says he's having a hard time believing his 24-year-old cousin is gone.
He was like my brother. Hurt. Can't believe this happened.
His life got taken by someone that didn't even think before they pulled that trigger. Well, what kind of man does that?
I spoke with the grandfather, Marco Antonio, who says he's devastated by the loss of his grandson. The murder happened around 7 o'clock last night in the 8,000 block of Coldwater Canyon. The suspects robbed Antonio, who screamed for help. Morales chased the suspects to their car and smashed their back window, which was a deadly decision.
That's when they fired, a barrage of bullets towards his direction, and he was struck and unfortunately killed.
Late today, police released this surveillance camera picture of the suspect's 96 to 97 Mitsubishi Montero, but they say they need more witnesses to come forward.
All we're going on right now is 3 male Hispanic suspects driving a white Mitsubishi Montero SUV with the red stripe, and that's all we have so far.
The grandfather was not hurt, but was treated for chest pains after learning his grandson had been shot. Jay, back to you.
Tragic story. Thanks, Mark.
Hey LA, welcome to Tinsel Talk. I'm Mark Roper, and tonight we're hanging with the Hollywood pack for the premiere of The Gray. From Liam Neeson to Dermot Mulroney, Hollywood hit the streets of downtown LA. They're out for the premiere of the action-packed survival movie, The Gray. I spoke with the star, Liam Neeson, about the challenges of making this movie. What was the hardest part about shooting the movie?
The hardest part was probably the last day, and we all had to say goodbye to each other. But no, the first week was intense with the extremes of temperature.
We were shooting so far north that there are only 6 hours of light, and in those 6 hours, the temperature only gets up to about 20 below zero. But toward the end of the day, each of the nights we were up there, the sun's going down and this storm blows in up the hill. You could watch it coming, so you just knew you were going from all the way cold to somehow colder.
The movie is about a team of oil miners who get stranded in the frozen tundra of Alaska. They're stalked by a pack of wolves, but also deal with turmoil within their own group. Co-writer Ian Mackenzie Jeffers says it's a movie about the will to live. What can fans expect to see with The Gray tonight?
Well, it's an adventure story. It's pretty scary, but ultimately it's about surviving in the wilderness or anywhere else, and it's also about surviving, hopefully with your soul intact.
I think it's a wonderful film. It's a great ride, and I describe it as an emotional action film.
The Gray opens in theaters nationwide in 2 weeks. For Tinsel Talk, I'm Mark Roper. See you next week. Cheers and chants of Yes We Can in East LA. These are the United Farm Workers who are out to show their support for President Barack Obama. Angelica Soto says sticking together is the key to victory.
We have to be all together, because if each one runs different ways, we're not going to get to the point that we want. But I'm 100% that he's going to get reelected, and I'm going to help all the way that I can.
Close to 100 union workers took part in the rally. It kicks off a nationwide campaign to highlight how the Obama administration supports organized labor.
The appointed Secretary Gilda Solis.
United Farm Workers President Arturo Rodriguez says this is the earliest the UFW has endorsed a presidential candidate.
It's very important for us to make an early endorsement this year because for us the decision is very clear. The Republican candidates over the last few months have talked about more raids on immigrant communities, about more deportations.
But not everyone is happy. Daniel Hernandez has mixed feelings about Obama's performance.
Hopefully he gets reelected because he ain't going to do much this 4 years, but maybe the next term he gets a lot more done than he did this term.
Union leaders plan to hold these types of rallies at least once a month until Election Day, November 6th. From East LA, I'm Mark Roper, News 25 LA.